Hi there, my name's Gemma. I'm going to be your student physiotherapist today. What would you like to be called?
I'm Jim.
It's nice to meet you, Jim.
Nice to meet you.
So from reading your notes, I understand that we're having a bit of issues with balance. Is that right?
That's right.
So what I'm going to do today is something called Tonetti assessment, and that's just to test your balance so we can see what we need to work on. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
So just the first thing I need you to do is if you can just sit forward on your chair for me, so the back of the chair is no longer on your back. That's it. For sitting balance, we scored Jim a 1. This was because he was safe and steady when sitting. So the next step I need you to do is stand for me. You usually use your frame at home. Would you like to use that now as well?
Yes. Please.
Yeah? Okay. So when you're ready, I just want you to try and have a stand for me. I'm just going to pop the brakes on here. When attempting to rise, we scored Jim a 1. This was because he took more than one attempt to stand. When rising from his chair, we scored Jim a 1. This was because he was able to complete it, but required his arms. Just need you to stand now for 5 seconds, just want to see how you're holding it. Okay. When assessing Jim's immediate balance, which is the first 5 seconds, we scored him a 1. This was because, although he was able to stand and he was steady, he required his walking aid for support. Okay, so Jim, I just need to see how you do when you're standing now. Could you let go of the frame and maybe widen your feet and see how you get on with that? That's it, and just try to let go of the frame if you can. For standing balance, we scored Jim a 1. This was because he needed a wide stance and his walking aid for support. So Jim, next, what I'm going to do is just give you a little nudge and I want you to try and hold your balance. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're ready. And nudging Jim, we scored him a 1. This was because he staggered but he was able to catch himself. Right, our next step is I need you to close your eyes for me and see if you can hold your balance.
Okay.
So when you're ready. When testing Jim's balance with his eyes closed, we scored him a 0. This was because he became unsteady. So Jim, the next move is just moving around in a circle, so just a 360 turn. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
Okay, so when you're ready. When assessing Jim during his 360 turn, we scored him a 0. This was due to his discontinued steps and his unsteadiness. When sitting down, we scored Jim a 1. This was because he used his arms and it was not a smooth motion. Overall, for the balance of the Tonetti assessment, we scored Jim a 8 out of 16. I'm just going to have a look at your walking now. So when I say go, I want you to just have a walk for me. If you do get tired and you feel like you need to rest, there is a chair over there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so when you're ready, go. Immediately after saying go, we scored Jim a 0. This was because there was hesitancy. When assessing Jim's step length and height, we scored him a 1. This was because he stepped through with his right leg. When assessing Jim's foot clearance, we scored him a 0. This was because foot drop was evident. For step symmetry, we scored Jim a 0. This was because his left and right step length were unequal. For step continuity, we scored Jim a 0. This was because he stopped between steps. For trunk, we scored Jim a 0. This was because there was a slight sway with the use of a walking aid. When assessing path, we scored Jim a 1. This was because there was mild deviation. Walking time, we scored Jim a 1. This was because his heels were almost touching during walking. For the gait section of the Tonetti assessment, Jim overall scored a 3 out of 12. Overall, we scored Jim 15 out of 28 on the Tonetti assessment, placing him at high risk of falls. Therefore, Jim requires a balance programme to help reduce his risk of falls.